Hello, Brick Sculptors, and welcome back to Brick Sculpt. This is Chris, and we have an exciting video here for you today. We are going to be doing the Ultimate Oak Tree 2.0. Well, if you're a big fan of this channel, you're probably saying 2.0? What the heck, you've never done 1.0. And that's correct, but I have made a lot of oak trees, and this is the oak tree I currently use in my Lego City. I have about a dozen of them. They're big, they look pretty good, and they use a lot of pieces. But I've been playing around with the design and I'm not totally happy with it, so I decided to make a new version. Now, because I've used this so much and I have shown myself building these on the channel before, I figured it was only appropriate to call the new one 2.0. I have done 3 versions now of my Ultimate Pine Tree, and I'm excited to now have an Ultimate Oak Tree. Let's go ahead and get started. With the Ultimate Oak Tree, we have a lot of branch pieces here coming off. One of my big complaints with this is that they're kind of flat and they're kind of spaced out a lot. There's not a ton of branch structure underneath this, and I think that's one of the things we really need to improve on with this tree. Overall, the shape and size isn't bad, and that's what we're going to kind of try to mimic, but just give a little bit more detail. Now, I'll show you how we build this Ultimate Oak Tree. We're going to start, of course, with the trunk. The trunk for the 1.0 and 2.0 is going to be basically identical. We're going to use a core just like this. And this is just made up of layers of 2 of these snot pieces back to back, and we just alternate them and stack them as high as you want. You can make them super tall, super short, whatever works for the tree that you want to build. And we're just going to cap them off with a 2x2 plate on both sides to hold them together. Now, why are they white? White is the most accessible color, most affordable color, and it's going to get totally covered anyway. Basically, the way I do this, I just find various plates and tiles in browns, dark brown, reddish brown, old brown, whatever works for you. You could even do gray in there to make it look like bark. And you mix plates, tiles, snot pieces, jumpers, whatever works good to give you that texture that you're looking for. For this one, we're just going to use a bare trunk, because this one we're just going to show a little bit of how you build this. I'm not going to go super in depth. That's what the Tree Sculptor series is for. I'll link that at the end of this video. But this is a pretty complicated tree, but hopefully you guys can grasp the concept and maybe build something similar to this in your cities if you want. The core of this tree is going to look like this, and it's a lot of pieces. It's a lot of branches, and you can see it goes in every which direction, and each of these black pieces is going to hold a branch piece. So you're probably saying, wait a minute, that's not very big given the size of the trunk. Oh wait, don't worry, it gets bigger. You see, each of these is going to get a piece like this in some variation. So this width is quite small, but when you tack one of these on the left and right, you can kind of get an idea of just how big this tree is actually going to be. It's going to be big. It's going to be very wide, very reaching, which oak trees do. They come up, they go out, and they really span a large area. I really wanted these to curve upward, and the way I accomplished that was with hinges, and that's one of the main reasons I changed designs, was to get that upward curve of these lower branches and get more branches stuck in there, so it's not as bare underneath. Let me show you how I did that first layer there. So the hinges I use are ratcheting hinges. I've got these ones here that stick to the side of the trunk, just like this. And then I've got these to pair with it, where I put them on here, start at a 90-degree angle, and then give it one tick up. And that's what's going to go all the way around the top of the trunk on all 4 sides. Now the way I'm going to build this branch out is just like this. So we're going to take it, we're going to build it into, these are those 5 long plates with the rounded sides on them. I like the rounded edges because they're a little softer than using just regular plates, but you can use standard plates as well. I'd probably use 6 long because 5 long is going to be hard to come by and more expensive. So I used 2 of those 5 longs. In the middle here, I've got sandwiched one of these round 1x1s with the bar on it. And then I've got those on the end as well. 6 long plate on top. And that is one of our branches. Obviously, you can see in this design, we have 4 of them around all 4 sides of the trunk. Each of these round bars gets one of these clips on there, and each one of these clips is going to end up with one of these 1x1 rounds with bar on it. Now you'll notice on my example here, it has black ones, and I have a lot more black ones than brown ones because they were on Pick-a-Brick. You don't really see them, so either color works. Ideally, I think brown is better, but for this example, I'm going to use black, and honestly, it doesn't make a big difference. Now, when you have just the first layer on here, it's going to look like this. All four sides attached to the trunk, and then we're going to have a 2x2 jumper on there in the middle. The next layer is pretty unique. It uses this cross plate that looks like this here. And we're just going to build this out with these arch pieces. Now you can use long arch pieces, short arch pieces. Some are shallower, some are taller, whatever you want. You know, trees have a lot of variation to them. You see this one has some longer ones and some shorter ones. This one is all short ones. Whatever works best for you. On top of each of these, we're going to put a hinge, and we're going to use this hinge here. Now you can make it stick out if you want more reach to it. You can put a plate on this and have it go out even further, or you can just stick it right on top. This depends on where you want that branch to end up in the end. And then we're going to take another one of these guys and just stick it on there and give it one tick up, and that's how we're going to do this layer. And as you can see on these ones, I added some of these 1x1 rounds with the bar on them, the clips, and the 1x1 round with bar there, just to give it some place to attach branches. Once our second layer is on, it's going to fit right in between these. It actually is a very nice fit. So you're going to put this on the jumper and just alternate it, and it fits beautifully in between all those hinges. So it's a really natural fit. It looks good. It fills all the gaps nicely and just looks like a really solid tree top. Going up from there, this is the technique we're going to use. Here we're just stacking a couple of these arch pieces. Again, you can use different lengths if you want, and then just branching out from them. And on top, I have a candlestick and a bar that's going to hold the very top of the tree, and we just have different branches there. This is also going to go at an angle right there, and that is our next layer. Let's talk about the branches out here real quick where we put our leaves. These are just going to be these large branch pieces with a couple of small ones off them. I use this pinning technique using these little tiny stems. Works great, makes them super strong so they don't come apart, and cover the top in 3-leaf pieces. This one's built with bright green and then regular green, and all the leaves are bright green. I did that because these are all common colors. When you're doing this in bulk, you're going to need a lot of these. I mean, a lot, you know, to build a lot of trees, and leaves especially. You're going to need thousands of them if you're doing like a dozen trees like this. So these are the most common and cost-effective versions are bright green, regular green for the small ones, and bright green for the 3 leaves. I did do a version I'm going to show you here in a minute in regular green, and the color scheme I use for that is going to be dark green here, regular green, regular green. You could also do regular green here, but dark green is actually more common for whatever reason, and then regular green on top. So that'll do the same effect, just different color, but I will warn you, this method is going to cost you at least 2, if not 3 or 4 times as much as this method will. And these trees do get expensive when you're building a lot of them. So be mindful of that when deciding what color you want. It can get kind of costly. So anyway, that is the idea. That is the technique. As I've said before in past videos, I often post stuff like this and people say, I want an exact parts list and I want exact directions. That's not really the point of these videos. You see, when I do an ultimate oak tree, it's super detailed. It's a complicated build. My idea of this is more to give you the techniques, the ideas, and you can run with them. If you know how all these things attach, you can take this and run with it and make it your own. You know, trees are all different. There's no right or wrong way to do trees. They all have a lot of variation. They all look different. Some have broken branches. Some are taller, shorter, thinner, fatter, whatever it may be. So there's no wrong way to do this. Take this idea, make it your own. You know, you can use whatever pieces you want, but I think it's a lot more valuable to be able to get that technique down, copy it in your own way, than knowing step by step how to do it. If you are looking for videos that kind of lay out trees a little bit more simply, the Tree Sculptor series is perfect for that. Let me go ahead and show you a couple of completed Ultimate Oak Tree 2.0s. All right, so this is the Ultimate Oak Tree 2.0. You can see the center is just super detailed. So many branches. I love the angles these all come off at. And the tree, the leaves are just so nicely, densely clumped together, but they don't look like they're all in one big fan and in big chunks. Oak trees are very full. They come out very wide and they span a large area, and they're supposed to look very dense, but have a long, overreaching canopy, and they're about as wide as they are tall often. It depends on the breed of, or the species of oak, but most of them are pretty wide for their height. And I have two different colors here. This is the bright green, this is the regular green. Again, I caution you, this is going to cost you a lot more than that, but I do think it looks a little bit better. In my city, I've decided I'm going to do some of them in green, most of them in bright green. These are going to cost, save me a little bit on cost, and these are going to look really good. But that could give some nice variation, like different species of oak trees. Maybe some are younger, older, whatever it may be. I'm just going to incorporate both. Now, if we put this side by side with our 1.0, you'll be able to see the difference here. The 1.0 is definitely a little thinner, less branch work underneath. The leaves are a lot patchier. I just don't think it looks near as complete and full as the 2.0 version. So eventually they're all going to get replaced in my city in some capacity with a more modern, better looking version. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'm going to do more just like this in the future. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'll do my best to answer them. That's all I have for this time, and we will see you next time.